What's up, Slick Dealers? Are you tired of overspending on products when you can get a better deal? That kind of sounds like an infomercial, doesn't it? I feel like the people who are doing this don't realize it, but it drives me crazy nonetheless. When I see the markup on certain products, it makes me cringe to think that someone might actually pay that price for it. And it usually ends up being tech products. So, the Slick Deal staff put together a list of 7 products that you're probably spending too much money on. Subscribe for more content like this, and let's get started! Why though? Why are you spending so much money on this stuff? Well, because of how fast the tech market churns out updates, new products, and new technology, a lot of us have this sense of FOMO every time Apple or Samsung releases a new product. So we spring for the opportunity to pay for a brand new tech device so we can have it first and impress all our friends and social media followers with a subtle humble brag. In some cases though, it comes down to a matter of convenience or brand loyalty or some other arbitrary concoction created by the market to keep you spending more money. Not today, Stan. Okay, I'm getting to the list now, I promise. Number 1, smartphones. And holy crap, aren't we all spending too much money on these? I'm guilty of this, but let's be real. If you're paying full price for a phone, you are paying too much. New smartphones are released pretty often. Samsung just dropped their new Galaxy phones in January. Apple releases their phones in September. Google releases the Pixel lines usually in October. But even with these releases, the brands offer variety. It's not just the iPhone 12 Pro. You have the Mini, the regular 12, and the Pro Max. Same for the Galaxy S21 line. But when these phones come out, the previous model year goes on sale. And I promise you, the previous model year phone is gonna be just fine. There's a lot of stuff I could get into on how to secure a great deal on a smartphone, which could actually be a video by itself. What do you think? You wanna see that? Like this video if you wanna see that. But to summarize, paying full price for the latest and greatest smartphone is totally unnecessary for a lot of people. I can speak from experience. I have an iPhone 12 Pro, and did I need it? No. Could I have lived happily with my 11 Pro from last year? Absolutely. Did I buy into the hype and make an impulse purchase because I had serious FOMO? Yes! If you have to have the latest release, at least consider the value options of the lineup instead of going all in on the top of the line phone. Number 2, the Amazon Echo Dot. Going from very broad to specific, but I like it. Okay, so Amazon's Echo Dot is a hugely popular home device and retails for $50, but it is constantly going on sale. So much so that I would have questions if I discovered one of my friends actually paid full price for one. Amongst the best deals we've seen, SiriusXM subscribers were offered the Dot at $40 off, and I'll do you one better. They offered me a free Dot if I signed backup with the service. Amazon recently offered one for free as well with a purchase of an Insignia or a Toshiba Fire TV. There's also deals available pretty consistently, like promo codes, sales, and you can check Slick Deals for the latest ones happening now. One more note, the next gen was released recently, and so the previous model's now on sale. And it has pretty much all the same features. So yeah, the Echo Dot is great, but $50? You can get it for less. Number 3, phone cables. Holy cannoli, does this one get me. And I think it's Apple's fault, to be honest. The premiums on their proprietary cables, along with how they require certification for third parties to sell them, makes it a challenge to get good stuff that lasts. But you can do it. For starters, if you're shopping online, go to Amazon. Don't buy an Apple cable, buy a third party with good reviews. Why? Because Apple's 1-meter lightning cable costs $20, while a brand like Anker sells 2 6-foot cables for half the price. And obviously Anker's not the only brand. And if you need it now, as in today, I recommend checking out stores like Marshall's, Ross, Burlington, and TJ Maxx, because they almost always have some phone cables from reputable brands on sale at a discounted price. And never forget to check clearance sections. HDMI cables. Oh. You thought we were done talking about cables now, did you? You thought wrong. I remember this specific instance in my cable shopping life like 10 years ago when I went to a big box store and almost bought a 3-foot long HDMI cable for $60, but I could not stomach it. So when I went home, I shopped on Amazon and I found the exact same branded cable for $3. Can you guess which option I went with? Can you imagine how elated I was to have waited and checked? HDMI cables are usually way overpriced in stores, and while I can't guarantee a deal as good as $3 nowadays, I can guarantee that shopping online will yield you better results. Electronics cables are a serious racket, y'all, and these big box stores are trying to hustle you, and they know you'll pay the premium. Phone cases. What can I say here except never pay more than $20 for a case. Ever. Don't do it. So unnecessary. Same spiel, buy online. There's like an endless assortment of cool protective cases for the sub $15 range, and even brands like OtterBox and Spec will go on sale occasionally. You have an even better shot at cool cheap cases if you follow my smartphone advice and stop buying the latest model every year. Save that money for your retirement or pizza. Pizza's pretty good. I am so hungry right now. Wireless routers. I don't know how often people are in the market to buy a wireless router, so this one's actually a bit different. The problem is that a lot of people nowadays choose to rent a router from their service provider instead of buying their own. But that's a bad financial idea. Usually the charge is like $10 a month, and in the long run, that's gonna hurt your wallet. 2 years renting that bad boy, and you've dropped $240. Comparatively, a brand new top-of-the-line Wi-Fi router usually costs about $150, and that'll last you at least as long, probably longer. I use this Netgear modem router for Comcast for 4.5 years, and it saved me a total of $400. Some providers will negotiate a rate for you as well. For instance, my current bill from Spectrum has no rental fee for my router, even though I am renting one from them. Laptops, specifically MacBook Pros. I've had the conversation so many times where someone wants to buy a new MacBook and they ask my recommendation. I ask them what they'll use it for, and they say browsing the internet, making slideshows, watching videos, standard stuff. And I say a MacBook Air is totally fine. Then they go, no, I'm just gonna get a MacBook Pro. All right, then why did you even ask for my advice in the first place? It's called a Pro for a reason, because it's designed for professional creators in mind. And as the average consumer, you don't need to spend extra money on one of these top-of-the-line devices because you don't need the processing power to render 4K video or graphics on an After Effects timeline. And if you're a gamer, you're getting a PC because Macs don't get all the top titles. One interesting and specific note that is kind of unusual here, the latest MacBook Air is actually a processing monster. The recent M1 chip edition put it on par with Mac Pro towers, so right now the MacBook Air is actually one of the best laptops Apple has ever made. And it's cheaper. But that piece of info aside, you can find previous model years on sale all the time, and it usually will not make a huge difference. I always check BH Photo and Adorama because I've seen some of the best deals on their websites, but a smarter piece of advice is to search Slickdeals if you have a particular model in mind. You can also look into other non-Apple PCs like Dell or Acer or Lenovo, or you could just get a Chromebook. So, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. In all seriousness, these are just a few items that we spend a lot of money on, and most of the time it's just not necessary. I don't need this $1,000 iPhone. An iPhone 12 or my previous iPhone 11 Pro would have been totally fine, but I wanted it. Is that a legitimate reason to pay another $300 to $400? For a smart, savvy shopper, no way, Jose. Comment to let us know what deals you want to hear about next. I'm Pete King, and if you paid full price, you weren't really trying.